So welcome to another segment of Pearced Off, the counter-apologetics and general philosophy segment of Jonathan M.S. Pearce for the Skepticule Podcast. Today I'm going to talk to you about oven doors. Well, more precisely, just world theory and oven doors. So the just world theory is a core reason as to why theists believe in God. It's this desire for balance and fairness which is psychologically ingrained into us, no matter what ancillary beliefs we have. As a result, we see the world, the universe, as a thing which must be, on balance, fair. I'll give you a Wikipedia quote which talks about the definition. So the just world hypothesis, or just world fallacy, is a cognitive bias or assumption that a person's actions are inherently inclined to bring morally fair and fitting consequences to that person, to the end of all noble actions being eventually rewarded and all evil actions eventually punished. In other words, the just world hypothesis is a tendency to attribute consequences to or expect consequences as a result of a universal force that restores moral balance. This belief generally implies that in the existence of cosmic justice, destiny, divine providence, desert, stability or order, and has high potential to result in fallacy, especially when used to rationalize people's misfortune on the grounds that they deserve it. Hypothesis popularly appears in the English language in various figures of speech that imply guaranteed negative reprisal, such as "you got what was coming to you," "what goes around comes around," "chickens come home to roost," and "you reap what you sow." This hypothesis has been widely studied by social psychologists since Melvin J. Lerner conducted seminal work on the belief in a just world in the early 1960s. Researchers continued since then, examining the predictive capacity of the hypothesis in various situations and across cultures, and clarifying and expanding the theoretical understandings of just world beliefs. So there you go. So I could talk a lot about the sort of psychology of it, but I just want to really establish it as a force which defines both theists and non-theists. So there are understandably correlates between the basic psychological bias and religiosity, and you can look to extra research to back that up. Only the other day our twins were playing on a stool with wheelie casters on our tiled kitchen floor, whizzing up and down to much happy laughter. However, we have a large range oven cooker inherited from the previous owners of our new house, which is, pretty monstrously big state of affairs. So something that we're really happy with, this big fat oven, two ovens, a grill, and all these hobs and everything. Woohoo! Anyway, one of the twin 4-year-olds, and it's still open to debate as to who was responsible for this. One of them was responsible for the wheelie chair, with one of the twins riding on top, flying at top speed into the left-hand oven door, and smash! The door was utterly smashed. A couple of seconds stupidity, and we have a £1,300 bill. Ah! You see, the oven is 10 years old, and they don't make the parts for that model, so we would have to get a new one. Thank the cosmos for Google and the ability to search by part number, as I managed to get the last oven door I could find from a spares company. So the bill was down to a mere £150. Woohoo! Although that's still rather a lot of money. My partner and I were sitting down talking about this after shouting the boys up to bed. Yes, I know, under determinism such anger is pointless. Yes, psychology. She uttered the words, "The only way I can see it is that it had to happen because the oven was faulty and was going to burn the house down anyway." And in fact, she gave several hypotheses herself as to why that happened. Several reasons. Now, she used to be socially a Catholic before we got together, and by osmosis, living with me, she's lost her faith. She's not alone, however, in holding such views. They're extraordinarily commonplace. No matter whether you have faith or not, the idea that there's this karmic scenario just seems fairer, and we struggle to cope with things not being fair. We, for good evolutionary reasons, this struggle for fairness, this understanding of justice and fairness is kind of inherent in us. It's why we like happy endings to films, after all, and just desserts. So when things go wrong, there must be a reason for it. But on naturalistic atheism, of course, the universe does not work like this. Shit just happens, period. So it's not surprising that an inherent desire for and a belief in a just world can lead to, or is a core value in, religiosity and belief. In fact, the Jews took on the Greek idea of a soul, heaven and hell, precisely on account of bad things happening to good people. The chosen people, the Jews, under the Hellenistic rulers of the Seleucid Empire. So that intertestamental period, was really important in the evolution of Judaism into Christianity. One wonders why these core concepts of eternal life, of bad being balanced in the afterlife, heaven and hell did not appear in any meaningful way in the Old Testament, but they did evolve in the intertestamental period. Such core ideas to present-day Christianity, and yet they are completely absent in the Old Testament. So that's a really bizarre state of affairs. So to conclude, watch out for the just world fallacy popping into your daily appraisal of life and the universe. Shit certainly does just happen. So, as far as a pause back in the studio concerned, have you got examples of believing in a just world theory, and how much do you think it's responsible for the prevalence of religious belief? As ever, question everything. I've been Jonathan M.S. Pearce. Drop by my blog at A Tippling Philosopher.